So in this quick video, I want to describe the different elements of the paper piece. So what do all of these little symbols, lines mean? So the first you will see is a dashed line. That is basically the cutting line. So that's where you will cut out the paper piece. And as you can see, I make sure to keep the dashed line. I just cut a scant all over it so that the dashed line is still visible. So that is the cut line. These solid lines are essentially sew lines. These along the edge will be sew lines that are predominantly joining sew lines. So these along the edge will end up being sewn to other pieces. This is the glue edge line. So this line is not a sew line. This line is used so that when you find the glue edge for this piece, it's used as a marker that matches with the glue edge line of the piece it will be glued to. So this line is basically used to match another glue line. And in my previous video, I showed you how that is. So you can see that where I glue here is along the glue line. So this one's already dry here, but you can see that both the glue lines in the right here are matching. So that's what that line is for. This is not a sew line. The capital letters are the name of the piece. So in this case, this paper piece is called BI. The number next to the capital letters is the sequence in which this section will be sewn. So BI2 means that this is the second section within this unit that will be sewed. So it goes by 1 up to, I don't know, it can be in the teens, in the 20s, depending on how detailed a piece is. So this is essentially the second section within this unit that will be sewn. In this particular piece, we have a color indicator. Now, in my patterns, I give 2 identical patterns. One is with a color indicator, and one is without a color indicator, which I call blank. Blank meaning it just doesn't have a color indicator. The reason why I include both is because in very detailed paper pieces, at times the color indicators will block the sew lines. So at that point, they don't really become very useful. So at that point, what I recommend is that you take the identical blank pattern piece and that you use that instead. So here's an example. It's not a very good one because it's not too, but you can see that, you know, when it gets more detailed, the color indicators can tend to block the sew lines. Now, in some very detailed pieces, like this, for example, the color indicators really get convoluted and it's just one big old mess. So I recommend in these more detailed pieces to look up where on the blank pattern that piece is and just print out that page and then cut out that one piece. You don't have to print out the entire blank pattern. It's there really for preference. So actually a lot of people prefer just to work off the blank pattern and then refer to the color chart. Other people like to work off the color indicator. It gives them, you know, a quicker way to reference color. But either way, when it comes to really detailed pieces, I recommend using the blank pattern because then the sew lines will be visible. So within the color indicator, you have a number, a number, and a color within a box. So the number will refer to the color chart. In the color chart, you will have different fabric colors, and this number refers to the color chart. So the number 4 on the color chart. And it gives you a little swatch, a little sample of what color that is. Now it tends to not be the exact color of the fabric, but it gives you a good kind of indicator. Oh, this isn't, you know, white, or it's not blue, or it's not purple. So I find those helpful. This is so what you will find here, for example, is all of these lines in here are sew lines, okay? And again, these are sew lines too, but these will be sewn once you connect to other units. So again, we have the glue edge line that is matched to the line of the other piece. You have the sew lines that are joining sew lines. These are lines that will be sewn on when you join to other pieces. And these in the middle are the sew lines within this unit. That is the name of the piece, along with the sequence in which each section is sewn. And that is what a color indicator looks like, with a color sample as well as the number that correlates with the color chart. So hopefully this is helpful as you tackle my patterns, and happy sewing.